never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it.
I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David and Gretchen will be talking about how Fast and Furious was about shipping arms to Middle East terrorists. Have you been enjoying the price of gas? Well, Springfield wants you to pay the highest taxes in the nation. Why isn't the IRS chief worried about illegal immigrants stealing Social Security numbers? And why SCOTUS got it wrong about counting non-citizens as local residents when determining redrawing district lines. And you won't want to miss Segment 6, the shifting of European sympathy for Muslim refugees. All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600 or go to Facebook and like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
On December 15, 1791, when the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, known as the Bill of Rights, were adopted as a result of ratification by 3/4 of the states, it was a reflection on the justifiable paranoia of the framers of the Constitution. The Bill of Rights was written by James Madison, the youngest member of the Continental Congress. Madison, who authored some of the Federalist Papers, wrote the Bill of Rights in 1789. While Madison was born in Virginia and not England, it's not difficult to imagine that his older cohorts spoke at great length of the tyranny of King George and a government that did not respect its citizenry. Despite the fact that Madison was born in America, he and the vast majority of the colonists were concerned about government getting out of control. The truth of this is hardly hidden or obscured by time. Rather, it is loud and clear in all the writings of the framers of the Constitution. The importance of this irrefutable fact is that the Constitution of the United States has never been about federal power, but rather the power of the citizen. It is written specifically to limit federal power and keep control of the government in the hands of John Q. Public. Today, every outhouse lawyer is crawling out of the woodwork and weighing in on what John Q. can and can't do about the government's excessive reach into John Q.'s personal life and the diluting of the intent of the Constitution. The topic du jour is federal gun control, and the notion that Obama has no authority to issue firearms laws that Congress has rejected. Truth be told, there's a strong case to be made that the federal government shouldn't be involved in firearms at any level other than assuring no force interferes with interstate commerce. The Second Amendment is admittedly a bit murky in its language. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The anti-gun cabal loves to equate the reference to militia with the National Guard, but that's because they're either ignorant or lying. In the United States, the term militia has changed over time from the original intent of the Congress. If one reads the words of the framers of the Constitution, the term militia has historically been used to describe all able-bodied men who were not members of the Army or Navy. The militia is John Q. And today, more than ever, the reason for John Q. to be armed is to protect and defend the Constitution, and not some rogue socialist government elected by individuals who are more concerned about their next free government handout than their own freedom. In 2008, the Supreme Court weighed in on the meaning of the Second Amendment. In an opinion written by the late Justice Antonin Scalia, the court articulated the modern existence of the ancient personal right to keep and bear arms as a pre-political right. The issue at hand is what we can do about a president who is determined to disarm John Q., even if it means violating the Constitution, the Congress, and the Supreme Court, which brings me to the point. John Q., like the Founding Fathers, has always been about states' rights, in contrast to an ever-growing, bloated federal government that lives like a parasite, sucking the life out of its citizenry. The solution to our problem is states' rights. It's time for the various states to take back control of this country, stripping the federal government of everything beyond the simple basics envisioned by the Founding Fathers. Last week, the Tennessee Senate gave final approval to a bill setting the foundation to stop enforcement of gun control imposed by international law or treaty. The move began with Tennessee House Bill 2389, which would prohibit law enforcement officers from enforcing provisions of international law and treaties that limit gun rights as specified by the Tennessee State Constitution. The bill awaits action by the government. Dozens of other states, such as Idaho, Mississippi, Arizona, Alabama, and Missouri, are following suit. There are those who say such laws do not stand up to federal law. Maybe so. But in my opinion, the federal government has slowly eroded our rights over decades, passing laws and manipulating the system to stack the deck against John Q. I think it's time to pick up the cards, shuffle, and redeal, sending those federal laws to the junk pile of bad history. That, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
The 10th Amendment says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So states' rights were a big deal to at least some of the framers of the Constitution. They demanded that it be in the Bill of Rights. And there are a lot of people, Texans specifically, who are very fond of the 10th Amendment. And I actually found a group online called the 10th Amendment Center, and their big thing is nullification. They promote nullification, which is what you're talking about, of the states nullifying federal gun laws.
Now, some people have said, but wait a minute. We have federal laws that prohibit that. Okay, yeah, I know that. Here's the problem. Federal laws were passed by a Congress in violation of the existing Constitution. So just because there are laws on the books now that say, the federal government's got priority, you know what I say about that? Go pound sand.
Right, and that's what the 10th Amendment says.
Exactly.
The 10th Amendment says they can't just do everything. I don't
have a lot of sympathy for people who are suggesting, legally you can't do that. This country is about, today, 50 states, or how many? 54? I forgot now.
I think it was 57.
Was it 57? Okay, yeah. You've been to all 57 states, right. That's a lot of golf courses, by the way. I don't know. But anyway.
When you add those extra 7, you do pick up some golf courses.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's right. But, this country is about the states. And that was a big hot topic among the framers of the Constitution.
Well, a lot of the framers, they weren't even 100% sure they wanted a centralized government at all.
That is true.
When it was 13 colonies, they're like, we like it the way it is. Right?
Why do we need it?
Right. They didn't want, there were some who didn't want a centralized federal government. And, I think some of them probably never changed their minds, but the people who saw that the United States could be bigger than 13 colonies, I think, realized that it was going to be needed at some point.
You're listening on Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call. Weigh in on this whole issue. Something that I came across, and we only have 2 minutes here, but something I came across is, you remember Fast and Furious?
Yes,
right?
I forgot.
And the common wisdom about Fast and Furious was the intent was to artificially force the drug cartel representatives to buy guns illegally, straw man purchase them in the U.S., bring them across the border, use them in crime, and then the U.S. government goes, see, look at this. Our gun stores are selling them to whoever, when it was our government that was doing it.
They thought they could track the guns by doing that.
And Terry, the border agent, was killed by one of those guns, which raises the whole question, who was holding the gun? Because now it turns out he was going to testify the next day against Fast and Furious.
He was going to be a whistleblower the very next day.
And all of a sudden, he gets killed with a gun from...
Highly suspicious. Yeah, his family has actually hired a former government agent to look into this. Lieutenant Colonel Smith-Mack is
Yeah.
He's retired, and so he's working for the family, and he's found out not only was he about to blow the whistle on this, but there's some scheduled shipments to the Middle East from Mexico as well.
And that's where it starts to get really interesting.
Yeah, starts to sound like shades of Ollie North.
Exactly, except it's the liberals.
Right.
It says it's not only guns and rifles, grenades, grenade launchers, military-grade night vision goggles, black special forces tactical uniforms. Our government is supplying terrorists with arms. We're going to talk about that and more when we come back. The other thing we're going to talk a little bit about is what's happening in Springfield. So all that and more, and we come back with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560 The Answer.
It's just coincidence, Jim. It's just coincidence that the day before he was killed by one of those guns.
The government went into his home, rifled through his personal effects, and removed all of his electronic devices.
You know, Dave,
They didn't give him back his
I'm sick of you conspiracy weirdos and your attention to detail and fact.
You want to make sure he wasn't hiding any.
Right, they
Scourge of
wanna know what he
mankind.
knew.
That's.
The classic congressional question: who knew and when did they know it?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knew what and when did they know?
Every time you turn around, this administration is fucking up something else. It's absolutely unbelievable. And if I hear one more time, well, Nixon was a crook.
I know. Like, you know what he did pales in comparison.
It's like a Boy Scout
doing.
weekend trick.
Right, exactly.
On AM560 The Answer.
Okay, I'm going to pass out now.
The average Republican voter out there right
Average
now
Republican
is
voter?
looking for an outsider who will blow the whole damn thing up. The Joe Walsh Show.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's very keen.
To get along with Democrats.
He's very good at
I want the whole system.
He really is.
putting his finger on the pulse.
That's why.
And now he's got these cameras. Boy, he plays to the camera real well.
He loves that. It's funny though,
Joe
'cause
Walsh.
he obviously shows up to work like not wearing nice clothes and like not shaven and
Illinois State Rifle Association has
He's
supported
good.
the rights
He's
and
good.
freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA has supported the use of firearms as a sport for personal protection and as a
Larry
fundamental
says
aspect
on
of national
Facebook,
defense. For over
bravo,
100
spot
years,
on
the Illinois
rant.
State Rifle
I didn't hear the last part. You said
Association
what?
has been
Spot on
supporting
rant.
you. Don't
Ah.
you think it's
Bravo.
time you
Tell Larry I love him. Give him a big hug.
ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
Oh, I'm just reading this thing. So not only do they want to raise the gas tax, and not only do they want to charge you by the mile, or did anyway, they're also talking about a 50% hike in vehicle registration fees.
I saw that.
Was that to fix the roads or
Up to
something
like
like that? Is that what it
150.
was?
Yeah.
Yeah, they turned in a budget of $43 billion for infrastructure.
No, this is okay. So what this is an independent group. This Metropolitan Planning Council. It's not a governmental group,
Yeah, no, I understand.
and
Yeah.
that's over 10 years. 43
Yeah, I
billion
know.
over 10 years.
But that's not as dramatic.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is
Never let
you make it.
have a good story.
No, we're not Democrats. We're not fucking Democrats.
I'm switching parties. I
No.
want to be a Democrat, so I can just lie.
No. Okay. Did you see this thing? Oh, you probably didn't. Raquel did the.
Men, do you have that one pesky toilet that always gives you problems? Listen to the Heatwave Plumbing Radio Show this Saturday for answers to all your plumbing questions. Need plumbing help right now? Be the very first person to go to radioplumbingdeals.com, fill out the radio discount request form, click submit, and get $129 worth of service for $39.95. That's radioplumbingdeals.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
This segment is brought to you by the Will County Grassroots Division of the Illinois State Rifle Association. Join like-minded friends supporting the right to keep and bear arms in Illinois at 7 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month at the Silver Dollar Restaurant in Elwood, Illinois.
They could come and join us for dinner.
Yes, they could.
And
Except I have another caucus meeting, so I will not be joining you for dinner. Someone can take my place.
they could join me for dinner.
Yes.
And buy.
They can have my seat and they can pay.
That's it. They can have your seat. I don't know. Do you ever just sit and read this stuff, day after day, and wonder, this is what we're finding out? Mm-hmm. I mean, do you ever get any thought what all is actually going on?
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
Especially, I would say I can't put my finger on when the first thing was, but a big wake up call for me was Snowden. When Edward Snowden came out, I was like, holy God, what is going on?
And they excoriated him. He was a villain for a while.
For a while?
Yeah.
I think some people still think he is.
Well, yeah, it's true.
He's still wanted.
Yeah.
If he comes back to the U.S., he's still going to be arrested.
Yep. But what bubbled to the surface is he's right.
Right. In my opinion, I think he's a hero, personally. And I think that, his plan to, and unlike some people, he hasn't leaked any sensitive information. He's just leaked embarrassing information.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference. There's a difference between being a whistleblower and actually, and a spy.
Yeah.
And he probably did have access to sensitive information, but that's not what he's leaking. He is exposing the corruption.
He didn't work for Hillary.
Apparently not.
Yeah. He didn't have his own server.
She probably should have hired him. It seems like he's pretty good at his job.
my favorite Hildebeestism, is when they asked her, "Did you wipe the server?"
Oh my gosh!
And she says, "What do you mean, like with a cloth?" Oh, come on!
Come on!
Give me a break.
I want to say that was the appearance or the speech that she was giving. She was wearing an orange pantsuit. And I was like,
that does ring a bell.
That is so ironic. I can't even put words to it.
She looks great in orange.
It works for her.
Orange is the new black.
I think orange is going to be a good color for her in the long run.
For about 20 years.
Yeah, hopefully.
I read something today. They're saying they're on the cusp of bringing the indictment.
Sounds good to me.
Now, I also read that Obama's been putting pressure on the feds, saying back off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I read that the other day.
It's so funny. It seems like they have a love-hate relationship. Like, sometimes they get along and sometimes they don't. So, like, you never know what he's going to do with respect to her, because sometimes they get along and sometimes they don't.
Well, the thing is, basically, I think, like Barack and I haven't done lunch lately, but
you haven't had a beer summit lately?
No, we haven't. But I think he's looking at the choices, and Sanders is not going to help him. Sanders is not going to do anything for Obama.
No.
And of course, nobody on the other side of the aisle will help him except Mark Kirk. But other than that, he's not going to get.
And
help.
I think his days are numbered.
Yeah, and the people of this country are not going to put up with him somehow managing to stay in office longer. I don't think that would fly anymore. The martial law, I don't think that would fly. So.
I hope not.
She may be his only choice to continue on with what they do, which is a little ironic because we've said this before. I mean, she's a screaming liberal, but she is actually, in her own way, a hawk. I mean, she is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Mark Kirk, it bubbled to the surface, and I said that. You're listening on Target Radio, AM560 The Answer. Give us a call on 312-642-5600 about Mark Kirk. Remember when he came and visited us in the meeting? No, I'm sorry, not Mark Kirk, but his representative.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I came this close to saying, I'm sorry, this is the Republican room. You want to find the Democratic room.
You're at the wrong meeting.
You're in the wrong meeting, yeah.
Yeah. I felt sorry. He's a young guy. He's in his 20s, and, I kind of felt sorry for him.
Why? Because he's too dumb to know he's got Mark Kirk is an idiot?
Right. That he's too immature to know that, like, he's basically dancing with the devil.
I bet that would wake him up. If everyone in there stood up and, like, tarred and feathered him, ran him out of town,
I just happen to have some tomatoes with me.
I don't think he'll survive this election.
I don't think so.
I think he's going down.
I think Tammy Duckworth is going to hand his you-know-what to him.
Yeah. Which is...
It's sad, but on the other hand, he wasn't voting our way anyway, so potato, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Mark Kirk is mostly voting with the Democrats, so
more than mostly lately.
What good is he?
Yeah. He was the first one to break ranks over Merrick.
Yep.
You know, we should talk to him.
Let's sit down. Let's have a beer summit.
I don't know. I just don't understand how he even gets elected, but, you know.
Well, it's not much longer.
Not much longer, that's right. Speaking of our state, switching from federal to state, it's good to know that our tax dollars are very effective in Springfield. I feel very positive that, did you know they're not going to pay him? Did you?
Yeah, I saw that.
Today,
I put that out. Yeah, I saw that. That was good. That makes me, it made me like happy.
Well, for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, they're now claiming the comptroller? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Comptroller's claiming, I haven't got any money to pay the legislature.
Yeah.
Which I think is, we have friends down there, Margot and
Mark
Batnick, and I feel bad about that. But on the other hand, Margot's not starving, and Mark Batnick's not starving.
They will be just fine.
They'll do fine for a few weeks, whatever it takes.
Fine.
Now, what I want to see happen here is how the Democrats are going to stage this to make it Rauner's fault. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The reason there's no frickin' money is because they've been spending it like water.
And because they won't come to the table.
Right. So they're going to find a way to blame him. You know that.
Of course.
He's intractable. He won't out and negotiate. Yeah, he won't negotiate on you giving away money for no reason.
But he already has compromised on several, he wants them to come to the table. And so he's giving on several issues. Right. He's already said, okay, I'll give on this and this and this. And so, I think it's very clear. I think, the record is very clear that he's the one that's willing to come to the table and have that discussion, and they're just not willing to even have the discussion.
No, and you know what it is? I think for the first time of course, I don't know, I don't go way back, but I think in recent memory.
First time in a long time, yeah.
That Madigan's scared. I do.
Right.
Rauner's holding the veto vote, and he's got him scared. And, he's like Madigan's drawing a line in the sand, and Rauner's going, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I'm not budging.
Yeah, exactly. Rauner's like, this isn't your kingdom anymore.
That's right. So what do they do when you want more, you want the budget? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put in this plan. I still can't believe this, and I can't believe it'll pass. They want to make this state will be the highest gas tax state in the union if it passes.
Sure.
If it passes.
We're already like number 8 or something.
Yeah. So they're looking at adding 30 cents per gallon tax hike.
Right.
That'll make the taxes 60 cents a gallon.
Right.
That's stunning. Truly stunning. And that's not enough. And you told me this failed?
The other one, the Cullerton proposal already has failed.
What I was going to say is they were also proposing, I just heard from you that they've changed it, but they're also proposing my mind blank.
A fee, a per user fee.
Per mile.
That would be average. They would say, okay, well, we're going to assume that you drive at least 30,000 miles a year, so you have to pay a yearly fee to use the roads.
They basically wanted to pay you not pay you. They want you to pay per mile.
Right.
But
you could either agree to have a device put in your car that would track your driving.
What could go wrong with
that? If you think it's significantly less than 30,000, or you could just pay the flat fee.
Yeah, I would very much enjoy having the government have a device in my car so they know where I am.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not in my car.
And I can hear our liberal cohorts going, doesn't say that. It's only record how many miles you have.
Yeah.
Every time they say, you're just so paranoid, you just see stuff. It's like 6 months later it comes out and it goes, there it is,
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, it did have a GPS component in it.
Bend over, here it comes again.
Right. But yeah, so they, the Senate and Cullerton specifically already got a lot of calls and emails, so they already said, okay, we're not going to do that.
It bit the dust.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to be back with more on Target Radio, and when we return, why isn't the IRS chief worried about illegals stealing your Social Security number? He was actually kind of proud of it. Let's talk about that when we return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
my liberal impression. You know who I think of when I
Sometimes
do?
you're liberal impression.
You know who I think of though is who was the Saturday Night Live guy? That's a senator.
Oh.
Al Franken.
Al Franken.
Oh.
Al Franken. That's Al Franken.
Yeah.
The last article that you had in that packet, the last line of the last article was, but many critics think neither option will gain much traction.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't get a chance to say that, but
because here's the interesting thing: if they do that, every one of those legislators are going to have to pay that to drive to Springfield every time.
yeah.
I don't see that happening. And what are they going to say? We exempt the legislature? They'll burn them to death.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, and it's like, okay, right now the price of gas is very low, so it wouldn't be as painful right now. But what about when the
When it
price
goes back up.
When it goes back to $5 a gallon?
And it's gonna go back up. It's not gonna stay.
Actually, all they would have to do is have a state business exemption so that IDOT, state troopers, politicians on their way to sessions, they could all be exempted in one fell swoop.
Is George a communist?
I think so.
Yeah.
A 7.8 magnitude tremor.
Oh, we got a light up. Oh,
was felt across the country.
it's probably a pizza outfit. You want for pizza?
Yeah.
Families sleeping peacefully.
Ed responded to what you said about Margot.
What did he say?
He said Margot is not starving. She can always eat the venison in the freezer from our last. I should read that. I should read
Absolutely,
it out.
absolutely.
On the Edens, no delays. 19
You
minutes
bet.
away. Lakeland to the Kennedy Junction. The Kennedy coming inbound, not so bad. About 21 minutes here in. 10 for the junction. The express lane's actually closed off.
So I wrote back to Larry when you liked his compliment of your rant. I said David loves you in a manly way.
Over on the
yeah.
Go coming inbound from the scene and the third circle. 31 in from Cloverdale, 18 from Manheim. No backups on the Stevenson. The Dan Ryan a little bit tight as you approach downtown. 16 minutes, 95th in. Lakeshore Drive slowing around the Stevenson Expressway. Chicago weather down to 48 degrees tonight, 70 and some clouds on Monday. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560, The Answer.
If you're looking for a better shooting experience, imagine shooting virtually all your firearms.
I think your impression made an impression on Raquel there.
On who?
The caller.
Oh, yeah?
Read the thing. Your impression
It's
made
Raquel.
Oh. That's Raquel.
David and Gretchen are tripping.
That's verbatim, by the way.
Oh, no doubt. I've heard her say that. I have heard her say that, yes. Is she watching? Did she say she's watching? No. Oh, okay.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Hey, protecting your family and Second Amendment rights is important. You need the proper equipment and training from DS Arms. As an actual manufacturer of AR-15 and FNFAL,
Did I tell you about
also stock all major brands of firearms, including handguns and every accessory imaginable for self-defense, target shooting, and hunting.
Joe, remember Joe McCaney or whatever we interviewed? He owns Devil Dog.
Oh, sure.
You remember him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear what happened? He just came out and admitted he's never in the Marine Corps. He's been lying about it the whole time.
No.
Yeah. He just came out last Friday or Thursday. He never was in the Marine Corps at all. It's been a lie, the whole thing from beginning to end.
That's brutal.
Oh,
was somebody going to blow a whistle?
I don't know how it came about, but he issued a statement apologizing, all that. He's no longer with the company that he started. Well, the company's tanked now.
Well, I was going to say, they're going to go out of business.
Yeah.
560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
Over a half-century ago, a respected firearms store opened. It started as a hobby for Mike Schrank and has now served generations of customers. Schrank's Smoke and Gun retains a family atmosphere and now carries the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County. From pistols, rifles, and shotguns to hard-to-find calibers, collectibles, and older, functioning hunting rifles. You'll also find full gunsmith services from simple detail cleaning to complete rebuilds. Whether you're thinking about your first firearm and a FOID card or looking to add to your collection, visit Schrank's Smoke and Gun. If you have a firearm to sell, their recent sale was so successful, they need your firearms. And if you love cigars, well, you'll find your favorites in Schrank's humidors, along with a broad selection of pipes and tobacco. Visit smoke, the letter N, gun.org, or call 847-662-4034. Schrank's Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964. That's 847-662-4034. I personally recommend it. They're nice people, very nice people. And they got humidors, and I like that.
Good. I have nothing to say.
That's it. We're done with that. Well, the show's over. All right, so that was a lot of fun. George is in there screaming and about to fall out of his chair. That's a good thing. It's okay if he falls. He picks on me. You're listening on Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. We're going to talk about why isn't the IRS chief bothered by illegal aliens stealing your Social Security number. But first, we have this brief message from Raquel, who apparently has some comment about Gretchen and I this evening. Is that correct, Raquel?
I absolutely do. Hey, guys, listen, you two are totally off on this one. Duckworth is not a hawk. She's a liar, and she's a horrible, horrible congresswoman or congressman or whatever. She's horrible. And I'm going to tell you, Kirk is equally as bad. If we all had our thinking caps on, we would say, eschew Kirk and Duckworth and write in James Martyr. Just write James Martyr on the ballot and just keep it moving. That's the best thing we can do for our country. That's the best thing we can do for our state. I'm telling you, these two are awful. Do not even try to make her seem like she's anything good. She isn't.
Oh, no, we didn't say that. We said Hillary was a hawk. We didn't say Tammy Duckworth was a hawk.
Yeah, she looks like a hawk.
See,
I'm just kidding.
The previous has been a paid political announcement for that.
Yes.
James
Martyr.
Yeah, I say just write James Martyr into that Senate race and just call it a day, man. What a great statement that would make to the powers that be here in Illinois.
I have a question, Raquel. Is he registered as a write-in candidate?
No, of course not. You know, oh, by the way, James Martyr ran for Senate against Mark Kirk, got 30% of the vote. And, you know, people were afraid. They thought that, oh, you know, Kirk has a great chance to, to beat Tammy Duckworth. After this, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know a single conservative Republican that's going to vote for this guy at this point. Not even the ones that were on the fence before and went on ahead and voted for Kirk this time around. I don't think he's going to get in the general at all.
Yeah, but in order for write-in votes to be valid, the person has to be
on the ballot
about whether or not it's
valid. This isn't about whether or not it's valid.
Now,
That's not the point.
Raquel?
The point is making a statement. It's not obviously it's not valid. He's already run. That's what's absolutely impossible. I'm just saying that it's sending a message.
Okay.
You should have voted for this guy. You suck.
Raquel, when you, well, George just went backward in his chair. Next time you call, please don't hold back. We really want you to express your feelings. And we liked him. We liked Marta.
Absolutely.
He was a good
I voted
candidate.
for him.
I liked him. Yeah, I did too. I liked him. This IRS thing I find very interesting because this really is, and we got a minute and 40 seconds, unfortunately. And I think actually we're going to carry this over into the last editorial segment because this literally is exactly what is wrong with this administration. What they're doing with this thing, we're talking about the IRS chief doesn't see anything wrong with illegal aliens stealing your Social Security number. Now, I follow the thread of logic here, and there is a thread of logic to it. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's disturbing about this is this. This makes perfect sense to them.
Yes.
The fact that you're breaking a federal law doesn't bother them at all. It's business as usual.
Right.
Okay, right.
And this is just a new wrinkle to a problem that I found out about a few years ago, which is the fact that illegal aliens can get taxpayer ID numbers, not Social Security numbers. They get taxpayer identification numbers, and they can file taxes and get refunds
without paying a dime
as illegal aliens, straight up admitting that they're illegal aliens.
Yes. Well, that's what gets it for.
What I don't understand is why we don't use that information to go arrest them.
Well, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk about that because this is I think really the classic example of this administration. So we will be back and we will be talking about why the IRS chief doesn't give a rat's patoot that the illegal aliens are stealing Social Security numbers. All that and a little bit more when we return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560 The Answer.
Yeah, I think this is way more interesting than the next
Yeah,
one. So.
much so. Yeah, well, I just saw it.
I didn't get to read Ed's comments either, so.
I just did. Margot is not starving.
Yeah, I want to read it.
She can always eat the venison in the freezer from our last hunt. You gotta love Ed. Ed is great. He really is. And you never know, he'll take a shot at you. I'm just.
I thought that was funny though that Raquel's like, "There's nothing good about Tammy Duckworth." I'm like, "We didn't say anything good about Tammy Duckworth."
It's pick a poison, right? It's,
Exactly. It's like potato. It's like it's like pig poop and cow poop. I don't care. They both stink.
Looks like George's caller didn't make it. He didn't remember he cut him off.
What are you talking about?
No, he was interviewing a caller.
Okay, so
what was it?
So what's the plan for getting Xanax into Raquel's meals? Because there needs to be one.
I know some people.
Okay, good.
She's always like that.
She lives with her parents, so it'll be really easy.
There you go. She's always like that.
Under the meatloaf.
Yeah.
Raquel,
I'll
she's
just be
always
like,
like that.
Here you go,
No,
Mom.
you said what was it?
Just a little every day.
What was what?
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me what the yellow, the board was
It
like.
was somebody calling to ask a question about the station. Totally unrelated.
Damn it.
A lot of people want to know where they can send things for damn profit.
Business is tough.
Why don't you send these out?
They call in the morning.
Well, there's a separate. We don't tell them the
I got it first time.
They want to send it to
We
them.
don't.
You want to listen to this, everybody. Listen up.
House shows have their own
Hip,
stuff.
hip. First time for On Target Radio. You ready for this?
If that's you, and you're
Tonya,
Tonya wants to celebrate
whatever.
your success and
Corey.
tell your story.
Call.
It's the AM560
Pat.
Business Tour 2016, presented by
Oh,
Signature.
okay.
Okay.
This spring,
And
Chicago's
said, can
morning
you get me
answer
on
Dan
Target
Roth
Radio?
and Emmy Jacobson will be broadcasting live
He
from
sent me a
businesses
text
in
today.
That is
Illinois with
so
success stories
funny because she knows she can't go through me.
Isn't that great? Isn't that something?
He said
Well,
the
now
first
trying
time for the first time for
Yeah,
On Target
yeah.
Radio. I thought he was going to say he came out of a red piece with something other than that.
I thought he was gonna say that he paid all the bills.
He was going to say there's going to be something
I
other
do
than
pay all
dead
the
silence
bills.
after a red
No, I mean
piece.
like
Just,
you had enough
once,
money to pay all the bills.
twice.
I'll never have. He
That is so funny. Why did she reach out to him? She knows us.
Oh, well, Pat and her husband.
Well, I'm taking Algebra 2 in a foreign language.
Oh, so you can talk to unicorns?
Not exactly, unless they're French.
Larry wanted to go to college, so he visited knowhowtogo.org to find the classes he really needed. Getting into college doesn't happen magically. Learn more at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. We mentioned Margot McDermott, Representative Margot McDermott, earlier, and we said that she would be okay if she skipped a paycheck, and her husband, Ed Ronkowski, said, yes, Margot is not starving. She can always eat the venison in the freezer from our last hunt.
I asked Ed to speak to our Aurora Sportsman's Club security guys, and he's going to put together a little program for them. So I said, in the next 2 months, whatever it is, 6 weeks, tell me what the Sundays or Saturdays you're not available. He said, simply to tell you when I am. He had 3 days. So the next 6 weeks or whatever, he has 3 open days.
I thought it was 3 months. In the next 3 months, he had 3 open.
It's probably the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So, he's going snorkeling in Belize and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit.
Yeah. I rolled something. You got to love the guy. You really do. And you know what? He's a great friend. When he doesn't pick on me. The problem is
he's actually really, really cruel to you.
Ronkowski picks on me. He really does. And I find it disconcerting. But
it is. I
like him because he's I like him. Not that way.
He's not your typical lawyer. I will say that.
No, he's not. I always hearken back to, and I say this because I love Vic Willis. I truly do. He's a great guy. But one time we had him on the show.
I remember I was a listener then.
It was a call-in, and he spent the entire segment explaining why I can't give legal
Doing
advice.
a disclaimer.
Yeah, that's right. And with Ed is like, okay, now I can't talk about that. But hypothetically.
Yeah. No, Ed doesn't have any qualms about, he doesn't give advice, but he just gives you his opinion.
Exactly. He's a funny guy. He's great. And this is the whole thing that has been going on. I got to just give a shout out, as we say, to our good friend Lee, who won the holster battle.
In Will County.
This won't mean much to a lot of people. But Lee won the holster battle with Will County and
the courthouse.
And the courthouse, yes. And so welcome.
The people from the Will County ISRA meeting will understand.
They will understand that completely.
And now, inside joke.
He's wearing tights and a cape, and he's going down to
an empty holster.
What school was it?
It was somewhere in Alabama.
Yeah, University of South Alabama or something. Who arrested a student because they were wearing an empty holster.
Yes.
So anyway,
which was a protest.
It was a protest. That's it. So Lee is
it's right up his alley.
He's going to look bad in tights. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Yeah, it's an inside joke. I apologize, but it occurred to me, and the thing is, you make fun of people that you really like. If you know what I'm saying?
You do.
Yeah, you wouldn't be bantering like this about somebody you don't like. You'd be saying something totally different.
Well, and I've always said, if you really don't like someone, you don't care enough to spend the time.
Exactly. So we like these guys, except Ronkowski.
So back to the IRS.
Yeah. So my problem with this, and because here I do see the logic of it. Here's the logic: the IRS chief, what he says is this: look, they're stealing Social Security numbers so they can get a job. They're illegals, but they're stealing the Social Security number so they can get a job. So they're actually trying to be gainfully employed, and they're actually going to pay taxes.
Sure.
Now, it's not going to be their taxes. It's going to be in somebody's name other than them. But the IRS
taxes are getting taken out of their paycheck.
And okay, I do get that. And I see the value.
And, he basically, Koskinen says, the most important thing is they're paying taxes. Okay, yes, but no.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. It isn't the most important thing.
Yeah,
I see the value of it, but what you are doing is you're saying you're violating federal law.
Yes.
And you know what? you shouldn't do that.
And what I read before about like what the IRS has said about them not going after illegals for when they send in their paperwork to get their refunds. They're like, it's not within. It's like, I don't care. You're the federal government. Give it to the branch of the government that it is their job to go pick those people up.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, it's really, really, really frustrating when, I never get a refund. So it's frustrating to me that illegals are getting tax refunds.
I got a refund.
Okay, suck on it, Lombardo.
Well, see, here's the thing. I have this guy who does my books for me, Alan, who is so good. It's pathetic. And I the direct deposit in my account. I'm writing it, doing the card one day, and it gives you, your balance back. And I look at it and I go, that can't be right.
You're like, what?
That's not right. And then I remembered I got this tax refund.
Yeah. He needs to get more creative with mine because I'm still paying.
Oh, I think you have to know him like 20 years first to be truly creative.
Do I have to buy him cigars and whiskey and stuff?
I would think so.
What is, what's the bribe du jour?
Well, I don't know. We just go back a long way. I'd like to say, I saved his life in combat, but that would be a lie. It would be a lie, and that would make me a Democrat. Okay, so anyway, gosh, it sure goes by fast when you watch your money going down the tube, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah, just goes right down the old.
Yeah.
Beep. Anyway, yeah. So next, we got a couple things. We're going to do segment 6, and we'll talk about that when we come back in the last segment here, which I think is a very interesting topic. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And we had another thing we were going to cover about non-citizens shouldn't be counted when you're doing redistricting and stuff. And I get that too, but we just thought this IRS thing was a big deal.
Not as juicy.
Yeah, the IRS thing's a big deal. So we might cover that. And next week we have kind of an interesting topic that's developing that we're going to look at maybe for next week. So we're going to come back and wrap it all up. We'll do Gretchen's action items for the week, and we'll all go home, or not probably have a car accident on the way. Because you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
We need to get some caffeinated beverage in you.
He said we'll all pray that you don't have
Yeah, man, I kind of lost control for most of the trip here.
Yeah, I got really sleepy too. I had to get out some snacks because I was falling asleep.
Don't you have a whirlpool in your hotel?
I don't think so.
No?
They don't even have breakfast.
That's a cheap.
They don't even have a breakfast nook or a lounge or anything.
Yeah.
There's 3 chairs by the front desk. That's it.
Have this week check.
Yeah, exactly.
It's free.
Exactly.
Second one's $1.
A single Cheerio.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jim, I'm living in a hotel because my dad tried to burn the house down.
Kidding.
No, you can't make that up.
Not
that
kidding.
can't be made up. Okay.
That's
not kidding. On iGold Day, he tried to burn the house
She's
down.
at iGold.
On iGold Day.
Comes home with her
I
house
was
and
in
the garage is
Springfield,
burned
and
down.
he was burning the house down.
Oops.
While we're packing up, I'll tell you a story about this goes back 4 or 5 years. We moved into the new house. The fire that was the street over.
About what?
There was a fire at a garage 1 street over. We were walking back from the park, and I was nervous about the new house. Did I leave the stove on or something? And I ran I sprinted a half a mile home. I thought it was our house.
Right.
It was the new house. I leave the new stove on.
Right.
And it was the garage behind us that went up in flames. But I had that heart-stopping moment where I'm just walking down the cul-de-sac.
My stepmother got up in the middle of the night and decided she wanted toast. Went downstairs, put bread in the thing, went back to bed and burned the kitchen and the dining room down.
Just watch the video. You'll be glad you did. Healthmerchant.net.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Don't give us a call because we don't take calls in the last segment. I expect every line will light up as they always do.
They
in the last
probably
segment.
will.
Yeah. Pretty interesting topics tonight, I think. Particularly the IRS thing, I really think that's something we got to watch kind of closely.
Yes. The IRS in general, we need to watch kind of closely.
Yeah. It just is indicative. Some of the stuff they've done, like Fast and Furious, it's just clearly illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But this, to them, seems totally legitimate. He didn't try to hide this.
Yeah, Koskinen's like, well, yeah, it's kind of bad, but they're paying their taxes, so, you know.
Yeah, so it's okay to do a felony as long as you're getting paid.
Right.
Yeah, if we did a felony to get paid, probably wouldn't come out
We'd be
the same
Edward
way.
Snowden.
Exactly, right. Anyway, we're gonna cover Gretchen's action items.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
The NRA Women's Wilderness Escape is an opportunity for women ages 18 and older of all different skill levels to explore and learn about shooting, hunting, and the outdoors with some of our most skilled NRA certified instructors and outdoor specialists. They will guide you each step of the way, teaching you safe and proper usage of and handling of firearms, as well as preparing you for your own adventures. No experience is necessary, and all equipment, lodging, and meals are included. There are 3 escapes in 2016, June 3 through 6 in Pennsylvania, July 15 to 18 in New Hampshire, and September 24th to October 1st in New Mexico. I put this information on Facebook last week. HB 3160, the Lethal Violence Order of Protection Act, is a bad bill that is being considered by the Illinois House of Representatives right now. Please call your state representative and let him or her know that you want them to oppose House Bill 3160. The House of Representatives will be in their Springfield offices next week. You can begin contacting their Springfield offices on Monday, April 18 after 8:30 a.m. I put this information on Facebook earlier today with a link to help you find your representative. The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman. Saturday, April 30th. Tactical Pistol 1 and 2, taught by David. Saturday and Sunday, May 7th and 8th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Saturday, May 14th, Introduction to Shotgun Shooting, taught by Pat and Nancy Donaldson. Saturday and Sunday, May 14th and 15th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
You know, I was just looking at what we're going to talk about in segment 6. We are doing segment 6.
We are doing segment 6 right after the show.
And the pithy topic would be
shifting European sentiment on the Muslim refugees.
I made that up, you know. But this is really interesting stuff. You remember how Europeans were, well, we have to, we have to let them in. We got to be compassionate. Well, the story's changing now.
Mm-hmm.
And the comment I had made earlier in the day when I was on break from teaching was, or it was in the newsletter. Isn't this like closing the barn door after the horses are gone?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I got a bunch of email about saying that. Yeah, it's a little late for them to come up with this brilliant, pithy ideas. So, anyway, that's what we're going to do in segment 6. It won't take us too long. Make sure you pay or stay around. I'm going to fall asleep. Well, I'd like to thank you for listening to On Target Radio. Be sure to listen next week when Gretchen and I will be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board, Jim Extrand, our announcer, and our sponsors, the Will County Grassroots Division of the ISRA, Schrank Smoke and Gun, the Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, and Safer USA.
And as always, I wonder if he even listens, but as always, thank you, Michael, for making it all happen.